Hello again, it's the Caliper King, and today I'm going to show you how to use a scissor jack. Like and subscribe, or even leave a comment, question, or any suggestions for the future content. Now, the scissor jack is the most commonly used jack out of all the jacks. They're typically found in 80 to 90% of the vehicles, stored in the trunk, under the floorboard, in the side panels of rear smaller or bigger SUVs, or under the floorboard in vehicles like a Highlander, or you can simply grab your manual, look up the index in the last few pages, and search for the keyword jack or car jack. This is a manual scissor jack. It's a simple screw type jack. Once you locate it in any of those spots, go near the affected tire. Look under the rocker panel, and you should see either an arrow, a jack pad, or even a pinch point, as you can see here. Before we start jacking up the car, let's talk safety. First, make sure the car is on level ground. Never do it on a hill. Engage your parking brake. If you have an automatic transmission, put it in park. If you're driving a manual, put it in first gear or reverse. And here's a pro tip. If you have a wheel chuck or even some blocks of wood, place them behind the tires on the opposite end of the car from where you're jacking the car up from. This adds extra stability and prevents the car from rolling. Now remove the jack from its storage location and place it near the affected tire. Grab your crank handle and start turning it clockwise until the jack starts raising. Once it starts to rise, simply position it underneath the pinch point, jack pad, or the arrowed area. You want the jack to be flush to the ground and centered to the lifting point. Here's a common mistake that people make. Never place a jack under random body panels or the frame itself. It always use the designated jacking points. Those pinch points or jack pads I mentioned, jacking from the wrong spot can cause serious damage to your vehicle, or worse, cause the car to fall. Get the jack tight enough between the ground and the jacking point under the rocker panel so you can't easily pull it out. Now, the next big thing to do at this point is to take your wrench and crack each lug nut counterclockwise, so you don't have to use as much elbow grease while the car is in the air. And if the car is already lifted and you haven't cracked these nuts, there's a slight possibility that the car could fall off the jack or the tire will keep spinning. Continue turning the crank handle and raise the tire at least 1 inch off the ground. Once you've done that, go back to the tire and remove the lug nuts that you cracked before lifting, one at a time. Place them in a secure area so they won't roll away. Now remove the flat tire and grab your spare. Put it on the hub. You just remove the old tire, and with the fingers, tighten each lug nut until you can't anymore with your fingers. Then go back to your wrench and continue tightening, but not too tight. Just snug enough where nothing is loose. Don't fully torque them down while the car is in the air. When snugging them up, go in a star pattern like this. Shake the wheel a bit to check any movement, and if there's none, it's time to lower the jack using the crank handle, turning counterclockwise. Lower it until there's enough tire touching the ground so the tire won't rotate as you're tightening it. Once you've done that, use your crank handle and turn it counterclockwise until the jack becomes free and can be removed from the lifting spot. Go back to each lug nut in a star pattern and put as much power as you can into each one of them. Now you're ready to roll. One more important thing, most spare tires are temporary, also called donuts. These aren't meant for long-term use. Check the air pressure in your spare. It should be around 60 psi for most temporary spares. And get your flat tire repaired or replaced as soon as possible. Don't drive long distances or at high speeds on a spare. Well, I hope this video helped you understand how the scissor jack works, where to locate it, where to find the lifting points, and how to position the jack correctly, and most importantly, how to do it safely. This is the Caliper King. Break on.